magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
Living life one quarter inch at a time.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme, right here each and every Saturday night on YouTube. And I'm joined by my ethereal translator, an all-around awesome person.
Hey, everyone.
I didn't announce you yet. Paula, Milo. Go ahead now, say hello.
Hey.
What is up, Fearless family? We're having a little bit of fun. We'll get into it in a moment. I want to give some shout-outs to my Fearless family. What's up, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, Paula is feeling better. Frank was down terrible after the show. Terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And then throughout my what do I keep calling it? My back strap, my lower back on the right side. It's like the sciatic nerve. I hit it catching a kitten, and oh boy.
After last week's show, was it last week's show?
Last week.
Was it? Or was it?
No, last week.
It was last
Yes.
week's show. Okay. Yes. It was last week's show because I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie went down for the count the next day. He was done, sick, out of it. And then I must have relapsed because I thought I was getting better. So this whole week we were just sick. Also, I had to coordinate. We met this wonderful lady. I don't know if you want to go into that.
Hold on. What's up, everybody? I'm checking out the chat room. I don't have my glasses, and I'm just staring at things going up the screen. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but we'll get into it momentarily.
It's okay.
Because it has to do with the synchronicity that you wanted to discuss.
Yes, it does.
Remember, synchronicity.
Okay.
How's your family doing? Well, my family's doing. They're lighting fireworks off over here. I thought there were gunshots going off before.
Can you?
Yes, I can. I can bring it down. I just needed to check that sound.
Noises.
I am from the boogie down. This is the pitter patter of little feet everywhere. And I want to thank each and every one of you that had thrown out a donation to us.
Yes.
I want to let you know that if you do something like that for us, and we'll show you where it went to.
Exactly. So we were thanking everyone for the donations that were sent. And we did say we were going to get, we needed to get 7 stray kittens, spayed and neutered, and 1 of the last pregnant mamas were out there. So it was altogether, it was 8 cats that needed to go in for spay and neuter. And we needed to do this rather quickly because they were all going to get ready to go into heat, and we would have had more kittens on our hands. So with all of the donations that you gave us, we were able to get 1 mama done and 5 kittens this week. We have 2 kittens to go, and we have the appointment scheduled, I think, for 2 weeks. We have the last 2 kittens are going to go.
It was like Tyson came in here and threw a like one strike, boom.
It was just
another strike, boom. It was just problem solved.
Synchronicities all the way. You know, we were trying to coordinate this. We were trying to make the appointments, and it was a very long story. Frank ended up getting in contact with this woman.
Well, let me do it. I got an exciting way to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So shout outs to Ellie.
Oh yes, our
A
lady
guy walked the
here.
dog, and his name was Frank. He walked the dog by my house and said, "You have some issues with cats." I says, "Yes, I do. I could use some help." Frank said, "I know this lady around the block.
Right.
We should go there. I'll go get her number and we'll do this." Now, we were in the house the day before saying, "Universe, you were doing it.
Yeah,
Universe, send us the
oh,
help."
thank you.
Right? And then, oh wow, April, shout outs right there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So
It's
we were
going
like,
towards the cats.
we were like, all right, check this out. Let's science this. This is where the scientists, let's science everything.
Yeah, and
That's
we
where this
started
came
doing
from.
this a couple of months ago. And you remember, because I mean, if you've listened to the shows, you remember. So this was a couple of months ago. Frank meets this nice lady who ends up living around the corner.
So Ellie turns around and she helps with one or two, right? And then we needed more help.
She did about 4 of them, I think.
Right? Yeah. So they were going on her property too. So we were like tag teaming this. But all right, so check it out. We're still going. We need to manifest what we need, right? You're on a fixed income, you do certain things, all right? And we're not saying, hey, we need this or that. We're just telling you the story. So we're like, I'm like, oh, I need help. I don't know what I'm going to do. And Paul is like, listen, dude, you need to calm down and just listen to me. Every time I tell you this, it comes out to be true. Just relax. You got to have a little faith right around now. So stop it. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I can't wait no more. I can't wait no more. I can't wait. Ellie's got to work. Ellie's doing this. I'm doing this. I'm tired of relying on people for this. Boom. I become certified with the trap neuter release with the ASPCA in New York City.
Right.
Boom. Paul turns around and goes, you did it. I'm doing it. She does it.
Right.
Now we're both certified. We got the same benefits as everyone else. So now it's like, whoa, we took responsibility. We're all right. So magic is what? Intent, vibration, the word, the movement, right? The ability to keep the space clear and stay in that vibration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I'm showing.
Yeah.
Then we did the show last week. And the next morning, it was Sunday morning, the lady that I wrote to everyone that was on the ASP's list for the Bronx.
Yeah, there
was like 6 people.
Emails.
No one responded. So a lady responded. Shout outs to Mary. Mary said, I know this lady. This lady, she gave me her number. This lady, I texted her, gave her a nice little speech. Nothing. Didn't hear from her. That morning, Sunday morning, I got the text, hey, if you still need help, I know this lady. So I sent that lady a text. That lady was like, yo, I want to come over. Can I see? So we were like, yes, please come over.
Come on over.
Immediately, she was like, I have 3 appointments for Saturday. I have 3 appointments. I literally, I do what you do on just a more advanced level.
I have 3 appointments for Saturday, and we couldn't believe it. And she said, all you have to do is get the cats. I'll pick them up. I'll pick them up Friday.
This is what we were looking for. Help us pick them up and get them out, and then bring them back after their spay and neuter.
And then they can, they can recover here, and then back outside they go. That's the plan. This is just for population control in the area, and so that no one tries.
You want to be a
cats.
responsible creator. It starts with what's in front of you,
right?
Like you can't ignore your problem in front of the house or on your property, and then expect to get everything else done.
Every female that we saw that came into the yard, we spayed, and all of their kittens, with exception of 2 that are going next, and they're not even ready yet.
We got Reggie to go.
We have everyone done.
We were looking for the big cat mama that we knew was pregnant.
And
out
then
of nowhere, Ellie sends me a text with her in the cage already. She's spay. Everything's done.
It was it was just a blessing, and it all happened within this 1 week.
The lady came over, then Ellie gave me that. Okay,
it was wonderful.
Then the lady came yesterday, and in a situation, this is how much things come back around. Y'all remember when I did the show and I said Sherman bit me when he was a baby. We were trying to get him in the cage, and he was like the uncageable, he was a monster. And then we got close after this. He bit me. Now they're on video right in here. Oh, look, I got cat bites all over me. He locked down on me, and I was like, I'm never going to rough up a cat again, like to try to get him in the cage.
Yeah.
I came out of the room and fainted. And then my mother was like, what the hell's wrong with my son?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I can't, you don't understand. I love them and I can't. Okay. So here we are again in that situation. And she goes, we can take 4. And I was like, what? Right. And I'm like,
a spot opened, and she said, I could take a 4th cat. And we
turned this place into crazy.
It was
Pack them
like
in. Let's go.
there should have been Benny Hill music playing in the background because it was like hurting cats. And Frank had to do a forward pass over the couch, and he hurt his back.
I hurt my. If you see me wincing,
He can't even.
I can't move
He
my.
couldn't even tie his
my
shoes
right
today.
leg. I can't bend down. I can't. It's sitting here like
he
this.
can't
is
even tie his
ridiculous.
shoe. But it was what do we call that? Acceptable loss.
Acceptable loss.
Because we ended up getting 4 cats. 2 cats spayed and 2 cats neutered, and that
Wait, so
last
this is
mama that's
beyond-
out there, So now
we're down to 2,
now we're down
and they're
to 2
not
and it's
old enough
done.
to get it done yet. So I just want to. All right, so we're going to stop talking about cats, but the cats are the example that we are going to show you
of the manifestation. We manifested what we needed.
Wait. So this is the best part. We left out this whole thing. So, all right, because I don't even want to talk about like donation wise, but because you're certified, right? Do you know how much it costs to do any of this stuff? How much does it cost, Paula?
It costs $600 to spay and neuter a cat.
One cat.
One
but
cat.
when
it's
you
$600
are certified and then go through their channels,
right, you can get it done for free. So you know
what?
And we've made deals with the vet where we can pay $250 to get a cat spayed.
One cat, $250.
And, you know,
they treat your outside cat like
it's
Clubber Lang
ridiculous.
throwing shots at Rocky Balboa.
It's ridiculous.
So
we just got these kittens back. Literally,
they're running around going crazy. Everyone's spay neutered.
Literally, they were just dropped off an hour before the show, and it was funny because I even said to Frank, "Oh, they're probably going to be out of it because of the anesthesia. They're probably going to be quiet tonight." Soon as they were dropped off, everyone's playing and they're eating like they've never seen food before. So they got good care. So
better care than the $250 that we spent.
Boy, was I wrong about that. Because they got exceptional care. So SPCA definitely.
So check it out. So
bring your animals there because they received real. I mean, you'll see them. You'll see them during the course of the night. Just run back and forth, and 4 kittens are running and jumping and playing. And that's,
last year at this time,
to
not even last year, we were saying we're $2,000 in the hole. Or we're getting like 3 or 4 cats.
It was a couple of months ago.
Yeah, right. So it was
like
6 months ago. And then we were like, so we were in a hell of thought, having to control a situation that was uncontrollable and getting way out of hand. And then together we went through this process. You've heard the whole process now up to the end point. The 0 fee is interesting, right? But check this out. It's not 0. The lady that does this, we needed someone to pick them up and drop them off and bring them back and all that. So they charge, or they take donations. Actually, they don't charge to do this. You're certified, so they show up. They're like, "Oh, you got a cage, you got this, you got that. You're in. You're beautiful people." So let me talk to you about donations for a second. So even if it was 100% 0, it was like $10 a cat. That's what it comes out to. I saw the paperwork. It's a 10, 10, 10, 10. Right. So I'm like, okay. What would you, Paula Milo, in that situation, donate in that cause? Knowing what we all just talked about, I'm going to teach you guys something because a lot of people don't know how to tip and a lot of people don't know how to donate when the word donate comes up. So hold on. And I don't mean you guys. I'm not talking about this. This is something completely different. Because we talked about this today. It was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So she we wanted to give her about $50 a cat. And, she didn't even want to take it. And I said, no, you have to absolutely
she said
take
maybe
it.
30 a cat. And then we were like, okay, 4 cats. It's 4 times 30. Plus we were going to throw something at her.
Yeah, that's fine. She didn't even want that.
So she comes here and she's like,
yeah, she's like, just give me 100.
Just throw me a bill.
Like, no, that's not what we're going to do. And then we
smashed it. That's all we need to say.
Because you gave us the donations, we gave those donations to the woman who.
You have no idea how nice this lady is, and the guy she had driving. And when someone does something nice for you, and it's a donation, remember there's gas, time.
Yeah, just time. People don't have to give you their time.
Yeah, they don't even have to talk to you.
So we ended up giving her the donations.
It's other people like Paula and myself and you, FearLess family, right? So. Like this is a really important thing to do. All right. One of the times, and I talked about this on the show before, I'm just mentioning it because out there in the ether, this is an issue. that needs to just be talked about
Yeah,
once
it's
in a
like,
while.
what would you pay? What would you like? Frank and I were talking about this with the ayahuasca. Now we understand, and whenever we had shamaned anyone, we always asked for a donation. So this has nothing to do with that. This has nothing to do with anyone in particular. This is just something that we've been noticing coming up a lot lately with a lot of people. What would you pay to drink something that is going to change your life forever? What would you pay to have that?
Especially when you can't make it a business and you're not about that.
No, but what would you pay to have a life-changing
experience?
A life-changing experience. And it basically comes down to that. It's like, what would you pay? And then we were talking about that in previous shows. It's like, men will pay a lot of money to go on a golf outing or hunting or a fishing outing with the guys, and women, we like to go to the spa. We'll pay for a spa day, a girl's spa day, and you have to be there on time, because if you're not, you still have to pay for the appointment, and you have to cancel within the allotted amount of time, or you still have to pay for the appointment. And we value things that we spend money on. And when it comes to our personal health and spiritual growth, we don't quite know how to put a price tag on that. Like it's very strange. We don't know how to put a price tag on that. Like, what would you pay?
I was in a situation once with our FearLess family where they made me cry because they donated when the computer exploded, right?
Oh yeah.
And so we hit a point where
we were actually embarrassed because we didn't want anything we were saying.
I had all this money now in my account, so we got everything fixed. We did everything we had to do,
and then we donated. We donated back to FearLess family.
Wait, it's not even that. The two guys, the two people that we donated to weren't in the FearLess group. They're just friends of friends, kind of. Mm-hmm. One guy was a truther that wrote on Facebook, "I'm about to get evicted if the landlord's literally punching at the door." He's like, "I'm a 40-year-old guy with a family. I don't get paid till next week. Can anyone on Facebook just PayPal me? I need $250. Now, me and him argued a lot back like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, this guy's got kids and everything. Now I just got a surplus, got everything fixed, and I'm sitting here and it just comes past me. Now there's a difference between hit the donate button when you want to help cure cancer on somebody's birthday, whatever. Look, you can oversee that jump. So I said to him privately, yo, here it is. I saw his email. I just sent it to him. I says, you don't have to give me nothing back, man. I love you. And I just want you to know that. Peace. Jumped ship. Another issue arose, and a dude was like, bro, I need like $200 or I'm out. I'm out from my little camp thing or whatever he was telling. And I just dropped it in his thing. Mm-hmm. And then he got a month out of it. I can't even explain it. And so all these people through this paying it forward of the donation and not hugging it and hoarding it.
Well, because it keeps getting paid forward.
There's like this momentum gain, right? Mm-hmm. Like, tell me about it. Like, I could sit pretty with 5, and I'm not saying to do this. I'm trying to say when it comes time to kind of just think about it for a second, like what you can do. Like when you're always like, well, what can I do spiritually? How can I uplift myself? And it's not about giving your money away. But what if your friend was like desperate and wasn't like a weirdo friend, and just or you met someone that was in that moment, they couldn't afford the cab fee? Would you fast pay cash the, with the app and just blip? I got it for you, bro. Keep it moving.
But that's
like we do that at the supermarkets, not the supermarket, the deli.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm down 75 cents. The guy's arguing with the guy over the cost of a blunt, right? And him being down 75 cents, holding up the whole line, right? And then dudes will be like, just boom, I got you. What do you need? Blunts? Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Going. And everyone starts doing that. You'll see just money on the counter sometimes. It's not always like that, but it does get like that. So it's a beautiful thing. So think about that when you're like, I got what I need, and I'm thankful right now. Is that would the 500 really make that much of a difference? So someone like me, 500, I'm like, man, I could help people with this.
Exactly. And it's a big deal. Like,
but I'm not gonna give it to a cancer cause, because that money rarely gets to anyone. Like if someone had cancer and I knew them, I would just give it to them.
Right.
Like, let me help you. Here's cash. I wouldn't go through let me take whatever huge percentage and send over 15% to 20% of what you just donated. I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me. Right.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see
You look way better than last week. Your energy was.
I was so sick, and then I started to get better, and I did get better, and then we had to herd these cats yesterday, and then I got sick because I was with worry because now they were not in my care, and I feel like now we're responsible for them because I don't know. I just feel like we're responsible for them. So
it is our responsibility.
it was terrible. We were like forlorn and like worried and sick. And now when we see them, you know, they're running and jumping and playing, and I just think it's just a beautiful thing.
So one of the things people say something like, well, I think cats are AI and animals are AI and they don't really feel or this and that. I'm going to tell you right now, that's some
totally
bullshit. Those cats looked at me when they were leaving, like, what did I do? And I was crying.
Yeah, what did I do wrong?
And I'm like, you did nothing wrong, and you'll return to me.
You're coming back. You don't realize it yet, but you're coming back. So we were sending love ahead
to the
whole experience, like the being in a cage and the surgeries and, you know, driving in the van and the whole thing, and then sending love, you know, to the ride back. And,
sciencing the entire time.
And
this is Sage, by the way.
And really, by the, you know, they're wonderful. They're good. And you know what? In a couple of days, they'll be able to go back outside and live the way they want to live.
Okay, so long-term problem live on the show Averted in front of you, in a place where we had distractions and this is going to be the impossible task.
Yeah, we had fights over it in the beginning, and I was like, Frank, just trust me. And he was like, you don't understand.
So you can do it. This is what I'm getting at. You can do the manifestation takes work. You don't just sit there and go, I dream a genie type stuff. Yet we have to learn how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, but we did the legwork. We did the work. We did the research, and then we happened to stumble across these people that could help.
A few minutes of caring.
Yeah, a couple of phone calls, a couple of emails, and then we ended up with the right people. And it's wonderful. What is that? Oh, that's so funny.
Wait.
Is that the?
So my phone just started playing YouTube video.
Yeah, and it's which video? It was
what I was watching on. Yeah, no, it was what I was watching.
So strange.
Weird stuff happens. Yeah.
I think maybe that's the universe trying to say, yeah, you're on the right. Yeah, you're on the right path.
No, it was a story about Hercules and how strong he could get. So remember, I've been talking about him a lot lately.
Yeah.
That dude's got me crazy. All right. Enough about cats and everything. We're back on track.
Yeah.
I feel good because of this, even though I feel, for those of you that have gotten sick during the last week or so, sending you positive vibes.
It's been horrible.
One of the things I was taking a look at was an article. I don't have nothing in front of me, but I'm going to reference just off the top of my head stuff. Aya going mainstream, right? And it can't be stopped. Becoming your own shaman at home or going to see a shaman.
And we talked about this
no matter what,
very, 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 very long time ago.
It's like, whoa.
Yep. We talked about it probably the first couple of shows, right?
Wait, it was the first show. It was actually, we discussed it on our first show, but then because it was a topic. But when I was first interviewed, I was in Chris's house and we went right on air. I think it was right as we were coming out of it. And he was asking me some questions. And one of the things I said was, Aya said, she didn't say, she showed it to me. She was like holding me in front of a screen and the screen was showing me stuff. And it was her going mainstream. Just like, so a lot of people were going, oh, it's rape of the culture and you should go to a shaman in Peru. And Aya was going, do you see, even those people that want to do it are limited, like, when you're about to get it in your own home, they're telling you, no, you're taken away from it and you don't understand. And it's like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. You do have a point.
But people feel the way they do. Like some people feel you should do it outside.
Like a slice of pizza for the whole pie. So you'll be taken as such unless your words carry enough merit for the whole pie. Just remember that when you talk to people, because people are like, you're doing this and you're doing that. Well, nobody says that to me. And we all know what I you know, I'm not raping and doing anything wrong, and I'm not hurting myself. I'm not hurting no one else. No one has gotten hurt, right? It is what it is. So you got to lighten up on this if you want the help. It's like saying I'm not, the flood comes and you're on the roof and you're like, God's going to come save me. And it's that old story again.
I agree with that. But I also agree that in our case, especially,
it can be,
people will find you when they're supposed to drink.
Right.
Like the
article was saying it'll be more easily acceptable. And then it argued points left or right saying at home or in Peru.
Oh, yeah.
But both pluses and minuses. I mean, the choice is literally yours. It's good both ways, depending on how your mind works. And that's it. As the individual purpose, you needed adventure into Adventureland, into the jungle. By all means, that's what you need. Why? Because that's what your higher self is telling you.
Yeah.
But don't poo-poo the guy that drinks it in his living room, right? Where he's not going anywhere because they can't afford to. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. It costs $30 to make this stuff. $30. But you can't just make it. There's a whole process that's involved and intention that's involved. So if you're one of those boogers that sits at home and brews it evilly, you're going to have an interesting experience. And then thus you'll be working. Don't assume ayahuasca can't handle her business. Do you think that right? Because you're alone with her once you're in.
Oh yeah, you made a couple of brews when you were angry, and
they were rough.
And you had the experience, and I told you it was going to happen.
I'm like, why am I getting beaten and raped and this and that?
Because you brewed your intent.
And they're like, well, you seem
angry,
you seem to want to force that issue. So if you want the answer to that, you got to walk through those doorways and release that pain. So since you're being the guy that's screaming and cursing and pressing buttons, why don't you just go in the room then?
Right.
And I would go in and be like, oh, abductions? Are you serious?
Yeah.
For 7 hours.
All right, let's get through it. Yeah.
Right. But then it's gone after it's over.
Mm-hmm. It's like
I'm at 10 minutes into this stuff. You stop panicking if you could make it through that part. But I don't know. You have no choice. Everyone walks through these things if they have to.
Depending on
like whatever it is, right? Like you've walked through actually, Paula, I'm gonna be honest. With all my experiences, I always thought yours was rougher, but they did stuff in tandem to the both of us. So they would but what I watched happening to you was worse, I think, than by a lot. Because you're a female.
I think that's just because you were watching it happen to me. I mean, it was terrible, but I'm not going to compare I'm not going to
No. But it was rough.
Terrible than your experience.
Well, women carry babies. It's not like they're implanting babies in men.
No. I know
but they
that.
steal our seed or our DNA through other means.
I think that every Aya experience that I have had was very showed me different lifetimes being me. It was very personal each time, where you've had experiences where they were very outward. For me, it was very inward and focused on some stuff now in this lifetime, definitely, clearly. But
I didn't mean to throw that at you, but we've discussed this on the show.
No, I'm thinking about it now while I'm talking about it. I want to be clear.
Let me just be clear. While she's doing this, she was in a tube. I didn't do it.
I know you didn't.
I didn't do it. She was in a tube just big enough for your shoulders to be in and have like that much on each side, right? And then the tube would fill. It was like tilted, so she was sitting like that, and there was a cutout place where it was transparent. So we could see her face, and it would fill up with this amniotic fluid. And I was on the outside of this, like holding on, like, oh, what's happening? And your breathing technique, which is total. I'm like, what are you having a baby? Oh, snap. Just to go there. And there, the liquid fills up and she's going and then drowns and then comes back up once it, I guess, all kicks in. So you're drowning her, and then you're taking the liquid in and out of her while implanting things in her and then pulling them out. And then the children are showing up. They're bringing them out. They're taunting us. I've never seen anything like this before, and I couldn't do anything about it. I could just be with you. And I was like, wow, this this is rough. They've done some stuff to me, but you know, a guy, you tend to feel like, well, it's all bad or it's all corrupt and or negative in one way or another. And I remember saying to them too, like, karma to all of you, first of all. Like, I don't know what to say to you. And they're like, don't worry, soon enough, you'll meet all of them. And I was like, don't be making junk kids and then bringing them around to me to watch them later on. These are your kids now, but I'm going to come and educate your whole crew so you can re-educate yourselves, because this is why we weren't having children. We're like, nah, they keep taking them and doing things.
This is
That's
what fueled that decision.
Yeah, your focus changes, right? Your body type changes. You start to go, well, if I look like this, they won't find me.
Yeah, they won't find me.
I tell people all the time, you can have a demon, right, in your house, and then you're like, oh, it's like the poltergeist house. I got to get out of here. And then you leave and go from like South Carolina to Texas, and then you get in the new house, everything's fine for a month, and then boom, it starts up again. And you're like, dude, we changed houses. Well, you can't run from your problems, just like you can't run from a demon, because there's no such thing as time and space. But
because
keep saying
your
that
frequency.
Yeah, so it just goes, frequency. Oh, look, you're right there.
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
I'm sorry. So yeah,
I'm waiting for you.
We were on I was on the grid one day on the ayahuasca, right? And I saw this entity that throughout history, it looked like a gossamer, but it was black, and it was like that smoky liquid looking stuff, but it didn't have arms, and it had the feet and the eyes.
Like Bugs Bunny gossamer.
Bugs Bunny gossamer, right? But then when he wanted to reach out and actually do something, so he had an area that he was always in. So inside the torus field, inside the donut sitting on its side, you're inside that piece, and they're projecting stuff in there. This being is actually standing in there just like you are, but he's always standing in the same place, right? It's the background that changes. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So something you might have fought in ancient Egypt all of a sudden is on Morris Park in the Bronx, right? And it's never moved. But it can't go anywhere. It just turned its focus this way. So when I hit the grid and I was looking at this thing, I'm like, well, how do you battle this and whatever? They're like, no, but you guys are here. That's like another consciousness battling. So then he looked at me. He was huge, and an arm grew, and he swung at me, and I was like, whoa. And it was pretty slow, but everything that he hit along the way, like, it looked like, to me, it was just swinging a punch at me, like whoosh, right? But the effect was, I'm hitting everything that flies through this darkness in the whole area as my arm comes through. If there's houses and buildings and this, it just filters through that. But then it started causing the darkness to rise in all those places. So it was like infecting everything. And then the slap misses you, and you're like, well, I'm still good. You missed me. And then you look, and it's devastation everywhere. You're like, people's consciousnesses, though, are devastated. And I'm looking at everyone standing there going, but nothing happened to you, because everyone's just standing there looking. And it's how you react to it. Right. So then when you stop reacting, like, it stops even looking at you. Right. Well, that's inside. You'll be like in the eye of the tornado where there's no damage at all times. So everything will get wrecked around you, and you're still standing there. And the more of us act like that, it kind of, the way we talk about being Swiss cheesed, it does it back to them, and it shrinks them down. You know, one of the things, and a spoiler alert, kind of, if you've never seen it, one of the ways to defeat the demon is to not be scared of it. Once again, it's like Freddy Krueger, right? Like, if I'm not scared of you, like, I'm over the boogeyman under the bed, and then he swings at you and misses. It goes through you and it doesn't hurt. Because there's no fear. Yeah, I've grown up. I've grown past you. Yeah. Even though you're a real being, you're still a being. Yeah. But I take your power away. Right. And the being shrinks. And we talked about this so many times on the show. They always appear giant. Like, they're so ominous to you. Here's them. Here's you. And I'm the monster. And then you're like, I'm not afraid of you. And then whoop, 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 whoop. And before you know it, the thing is this big. And then you're holding it in your hand, and you're feeling bad for it. And you're like, oh, I'll just transmute you.
Because it's the amount of energy you give it. It's like fear. You gave it, so it had all of your fear. So it's this great thing. Like when that experience was happening to me in South Carolina, and you said, you know, don't be afraid. And I said, I looked at you and I said, I'm not afraid. We just have to get through it. But I'm not afraid. Like, I'm good. Like,
Yes.
we're going through this, you know, and I think I gave birth 14 or 15 times.
It was so crazy to watch. She went through so much that I was like, man, give her a break. They were like, no, absolutely not. We had, and you know what the crazy part was?
But we got through. I
There were
got through it.
tentacles everywhere flying out of the background, but nothing the tentacles couldn't touch Paula. It couldn't touch me. So I couldn't see the other people that were there when I was looking. The people that didn't want to be attached to ceremony, they kind of ran off into the background. They were dealing with puppeteered things attached to tentacles. When I looked at you and I was like, don't be afraid, I actually didn't know what to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what am I supposed to say in that situation? I can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
But I got to tell you. So I'm just like, well, don't be afraid. And you looked at me like, I'm not afraid. I was like, oh, you're in the pocket.
Yeah, no.
That's how I learned to get in the pocket.
Frank.
Without
Look,
screaming like a girl.
I
don't know offense to women,
took
but
our,
you know what I'm saying?
Look, Aya showed me a few times that they took a baby from us in every lifetime. We were fish and they took our baby. So, you know, I understand why, you know, I've made some choices in this lifetime, and now you understand clearly why you've made some choices. But, you know, we were talking last week, I think last week or the week before on the show, about raising an army with these kittens. And, you know, there has to be some truth to that, because everything, the synchronicities, you know, these women coming into our lives to help and giving advice, and the advice was actually taken, and then we, you know, took the right steps towards what needed to be done. And in a couple of months' time, because we started all of this in July,
so it's
and it's now September,
goal.
So from June, the end of June, July till now, you know, all of the five mamas were spayed, and 7 kittens were spayed.
So we were laughing. We're like, if we don't solve this problem immediately, it's getting like
it's
gremlins.
going to be an epidemic. Yeah, it's like, they're multiplying.
Would you feed them after midnight?
Yeah.
Get them
So
wet?
now,
what are you doing?
you know, now it's done.
But
now we're going to move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
you know, like, now we don't hold space for this. Now it's done. You know, we have appointments for the last 2, and now we don't hold space for it. We let it go. We conquered,
or succeeded in mission.
It's another success, and we move on.
Yes. Creator being,
right?
You took responsibility. You're still taking responsibility. You're there in the frequency.
And what did I say? Just trust me. Just trust me. And you did. And here we are. We're almost through it.
So I want to let you guys know something cool. So Source, I don't know what Source is to you, but to me, Source is the ultimate energy that, you know, encompasses us. It's in everything, but it's also reached in a high frequency. It's like the ball of light that you can enter and all that. We all want to know, how do I keep the high frequency? How do I reach that source without ayahuasca, without DMT? And today, Paula and I were sitting on the couch, even though I'm in excruciating pain, and we're sitting there like giggling and laughing about stuff. And I look up, no, it was yesterday. And Source, or was it earlier today?
Today it was a long day.
We were like, I was outside in the sun for a few minutes, did my I'm thankful, I'm grateful, my greetings to the whole universe, came back in as we were talking. It got really relaxed in here. And I looked up, and I don't know how you see, but I see just the way I see here. Right. So I look up, and in that high frequency, Source is just the whole ceiling, right? Like, we're hanging out with us.
Right.
But right there. So how many people have a tendency to push that being or source of consciousness is like out there somewhere far away? If you don't believe that you're the creator, where is this being to you that is the ultimate in whatever? Is it in everything? Is it in the air you breathe? Is it in this? Well, that energy that we're created from the light being, the source energy, is a high frequency. It's the highest that you can attain in this matrix. Then you could jump into another octave. Was just sitting in the room with us, and we were chilling, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm not saying why are you here like that. I mean, how did you get here, and how am I seeing you right there? And he's like, and I say he because he talks to me in the he voice, which is my voice. And it's like, you guys are doing exactly what you need to do to get into this frequency where you can now perceive me right above your head. Like I was reaching up as I was stretching and going, it's right here. Like it's like a liquid light that's doing its thing, and it's loving what we're doing, and it's the energy is ridiculous. So I'm going, how are we doing that? So basically you're the frequency tip. So if your lowest chakra was like the furthest from source, right? As you move up the spiral to spiral out, like Ra always says, right? When you get to a point where you're all encompassing, the Kundalini's flowing and you're just feeling good and you're not even aware of it, right? Because we weren't aware of nothing. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, look at this. You're doing it. Are you in love? Right? We were saying
it's living your best life. Like you can look, you can't change the bills that you have coming in every month, and you can't change the money that's going out every month, but you can look at it from a different perspective, you know, and that's kind of what we did. And we said, you know, we took responsibility for this situation, and we're very happy we did, but it was a very expensive, it's been very expensive. But now it's
stick with the positive
stuff.
stuff.
And now it's not a problem. We're almost through the end of it.
As we're sitting in it, we were telling each other how we wouldn't want to do this without the other one ever.
Yeah, you know,
like there's these weird, like awesome comments being made, like
discovery.
Oh, would another woman be able to take a demon out of you or the way I do? And I was like, don't even talk like that, because I don't even think like that. We were just going back and forth, but during that communication. During that communication, I didn't even get to that. You're just in the now moment having the conversation, like, oh, we're doing it, and this is great, and you know, I'd rather do this with you than anyone, but also to be with you, and I love seeing your face, and and then that's when I saw it. So when I saw source, so I'm not out there, I'm in here. So you're seeing me as a of what you're conquering within you, hitting the frequency. And I was like, oh, oh, shout outs to Rye's in the room tonight. Rye, I love you, bro. So, but this is what happens when you hit the notes in the song, the music plays, right? A song is always constantly moving, right? It's always doing its thing. So you're always in movement. So when you're doing this for yourself and getting your chakras moving, I got to say it like this. People are like, well, chakras aren't real. I hate to tell you this, but they're very real. They got to spin. They got to spiral from one to the other, to the next, and it's got to come up like a figure eight and come back and loop back around, right? And then you're like hypercharged. You look like your own Ankh kind of situation, just like a Tesla device. Everything is based on the same shit. We're further than 20 minutes in.
That's okay.
And I could use that one. But it's true. It's based on you, because you are the all. This is why it's like that, right?
It's just taking a situation that you have to get through and finding the easiest way to get through it. And trying to get something out of it while you're going through it. Because you're going to probably have to go through it again, whatever it is in your life. And that's the point, you know. You
got to do what you got to do. There's nothing out there that's going to make you do.
So if you have to do what you have to do, just do it the best way you can.
Yeah, and you have to do your stuff. So whether you do it in Peru, or you do it in the living room, or you do it on the Stairmaster, or you do it in the yard, just do it.
I was asked to do a ladies ayahuasca retreat a couple of years ago, and I said no. I declined. I didn't want to be in a group setting. I didn't want to be on a yoga mat in the corner of a room. I didn't want it. And I think it
would be terrible, but so funny if you just said, yeah, sure. And then the next thing is you drinking it and then just looking to the person next to you going, throwing up all over them. And
I don't, it's very.
Oh, we tease about that. That's never happened, but.
It's very, it's very private for me. You know, it's a very private experience for me. So no, I don't think I would like that group setting. I don't
have a problem with it personally.
No, you don't, because you can
I can create a symphony with whoever's there.
yeah, and you can,
And if I can't, they'll just remove my consciousness.
You can kind of ask it to stop or to slow down for you. I'm not really good at that. I'm kind of in it until I'm not in it.
I'll tell you something funny. When you were under and I was under and something was happening to you and I was in my own thing for the moment, as soon as I'd hear, and I swear you get the 6 seconds heads up minimum.
Yeah, you do.
I heard like and I knew that was, you're like, something was coming up in a moment. But it, to me, on the other side, reacted so fast. Aya just snaps me back into my body, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, "How can I help?" And then the purge happens, and I'm like, "Oh, I got there before it happened, so I'm not waking up during it, going, oh, let me help." I'm literally staying ahead of that wave. That's why I say you can work with Aya. You just have to be. Saying pure heart is rough because it's not that; it's pure intention.
No, yeah,
like your intention has to be correct. Right.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree
because
with
that. if your intention's right, she'll work with you no matter what's going on. Because I've had to there were times where I had to like look at someone that, like my mother or something while being under, come up here. And I'm like, and then just upstairs. And or she said to me once, Aya, you're going to have to use the bathroom. So go. And I was like, when? And she's like 60 seconds starting 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
yeah,
snap.
She was good with me too, like that. She would say, okay, you're done. You're not going to throw up anymore. And I went, really? And she says, no, you're done. You're done. And then I'd be like, okay, thank you. Like, yeah, it's just so weird. I just.
So you can.
But she tells the truth. She's like, okay, you're done.
See, some people just submit or do whatever. They don't really ask the question or get involved other than what the light show is or what you have to purge. But no, it's okay. But during your experiences with her, like I'm like, this is my mother. So I'm very comfortable with her. Yeah, there's scary stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of people have a lot of unresolved issues when they're going in and they're not as trusting as you are.
No, that's why I said as you work into it.
I understand that, they're very guarded and they're very
well, you can ask, do I need to see this right now? And if they say yeah, you go, okay,
let's do it, and then you get ready.
Do it with walk with me.
Yeah.
Not do it for me. Yeah. Do it, walk alongside me and I'll do this. Like when you'll walk through your most craziest fear.
Oh yeah.
And the lights come back on and the whole time you're like guides, the light beings, whatever, they were standing like right next to you trying to protect you, but they're not going to let you see that. You can only see the hologram that you're trying to push the fear back. And when the lights come back on, you're like, oh my God, no, lowercase g. And they start hugging you immediately. And you're like, oh, bro, son, I see this. It's a game. It's a whoop back into the body. And you're like, oh, wow, I think I just purged some stuff and some dudes are helping. Like, I can't even explain it. That's the kind of stuff that goes on when you're under. But as you continuously journey, within yourself, you can ask the questions.
Any question?
Yeah.
What is this? This is your notes. What does this mean?
Nope.
Nope.
It means no.
No.
But nope. What does nope mean? It's the definition of no.
Means. I know what.
Not now. Perhaps never. What?
No, what's it?
Another time, perhaps, but not right now.
Okay, that's what that means.
No, that's not what that means for this time. No. Okay, so one of the things about this, my point, and we'll just loop it around. I'll get right into that. Is the other thing I said in the interview is we can't be stopped. Right? That the light being armada. Army, the heist, the undercoverness of this whole situation, which was actually a plan that they planned against us to keep us lost in translation to everything around and not being able to figure it out. And then our higher guys like, nah, we got this. And Mother, Aya, Gaia, Earth, everybody, we got this, activate. And all of a sudden we remember. So none of the enemy's tricks work against us anymore. And you're like, wait, what?
Right.
But it starts at the most basic function, like, you have fluoride in the water, you clean in the water, you're doing this, you're doing that. As you're backing out of that, fixing yourself, these other things start to occur. And the awareness level Okay. You can't stop it though.
Okay.
She's going to make it occur as if the earth is spawning the antibody
But it is
to the virus that has infected
we're
us.
we're raising an army. I don't know what for, but I think, oh, I do know what's for. That's the attack that
Okay.
happened.
We got a question.
Okay.
So look, Alice, right? Aren't chakras part of the matrix control system? How can we remove them? I'm going to tell you a secret that I tell everyone all the time about the chakras and them thinking they're just implants. There is a framework. I think we talked about this last week on the show. There's an etheric framework, right? There's your human body, there's your soul, your light body, and then there's this etheric framework with this etheric metal, boom, holds everything in place. We're not used to seeing that. With that, it spins the chakras certain ways. It's allowing you to only see certain things with your awareness, right? We talk about the overlays, which get your chakras clogged and messed up and this and that. Okay. So yes, they're a system of control, but yes, they wouldn't be a control plugin if you didn't have them, right? They didn't just make fake chakras and go, here you go. And then that's your body's built in this place to have an emotional output when you're in the human body. So on one end, yeah, they put them in there, but you have to master them. You master them and they fall away. You tear them out? I don't think so. They put them right back in. That's what I've witnessed. That's what I've witnessed time and time again. I've ripped mine out. I talked about it on the show. They put it right back in me. They're like, dude, you'll fly out of your body when you hit the brake on your car at the red light if you don't have this in before you master it. When you master it, it falls away. You still have portal points in you. There's still spinning points in you. Remember, you're here in this grid in the matrix. Your light body overcomes all of it. So as you regain control of the system's functions within you, the switches, the on, off, and that all falls off. But your chakras are still there for sure. Right? It's a design in the system. It links one thing to the next thing to the next thing within the diaphragm, within the diagram of the digital biological holographic self, right? And they know that, right? And you overcome it, it just falls off. Their control system falls off, right? Remember, in the end, you're just the light being. The light being's here, you're here. The overlay system's there, and boom, it locks in. We're transmuting the whole thing. We're taking it all with us, and whatever we don't need, that etheric metal just flies off. Then you don't, when you have it all mastered and you're figuring things out within you, you can do that. You can have that all removed, but you remove it. You don't have someone else remove that stuff. That's a heist, guys. I hate to tell you, just like some people are just business people when it comes to this, that removal of the chakras, you don't want nobody removing your chakras. Trust me. Well, you know what? Don't trust me. Believe what you need to believe and go out and do whatever you feel you need to do. I did not do that. Mine just fell away naturally, like boop, almost like an umbilical cord. That area just went, but I still have all the feelings. You know, if I'm being embarrassed, that spot still lights up in me, but I don't have like no control system attachment. So we have way more going on with all of that. We're mastering it so we understand it, but they're still going to target that, look for weak points. Are they still afraid what people think of them? Are they afraid to speak? Maybe we'll get them at the throat. They overthinkers, we'll get them in the head. You know what? Let's give them a headache. Boop, poke them in the third eye. You know, did they have a sexual situation when they were perhaps younger? Trauma. So they attack those systems within you. How they pump stuff in, but you could pump stuff out, right? You blow it all out and the piece just falls away like a umbilical cord when time is up. Everybody's rushing to do all this stuff, but if you're not mastering anything, what are you doing? Why would you even do anything? Like, to make someone else do the work for you is so much bullshit that it makes me sick. That's how much bullshit it is. All right. That's a lazy man's way out, or a woman's way out. If you think someone else is going to remove your chakras and then they're going to stay removed in the new age, come on, teach yourself something good. If you don't learn the whole thing, if you don't learn A through Z, right? A, B, C. I always say this, you go the whole alphabet, learn it all, learn a mantra, learn how to breathe, learn how to exercise, learn how to love yourself, learn how to do that. And you don't need anyone's help. Become your own shaman. Science your body, become your own scientist. Everybody wants the next person over to do something for them sometimes, and that really bothers me. Yo, can you clean and clear me? Can you clean me? I need another clearing, bro. Bro, can you clean? After 3 of those, you're out. You're out. And if you're still going through that and you're still doing it and you're not doing it right, that's my personal opinion. But then again, this is the advanced class, and I'm sorry for ranting over.
No, go right ahead.
But yeah, because this is all distractions. Here we go. Boom, distractions. Right? More and more distractions, right? We got all this kind of pedophile stuff, and then Area 51's being raided. Oh yeah, 75 people at the gate, 1,500 people partying, smoking weed, tripping on Molly, hanging out, drinking beers, bringing food and, you know, hamburgers and stuff. You're not raiding anything. You're hanging out.
You're not raiding.
You're forcing a hangout in front of a place that you're not going to enter. Let's just cut through the bullshit. It's not really that fucking important. Who gives a shit? Oh. Sorry. Well, we're an hour in.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that was my bad.
That's okay. We have to have a swear jar. We have to put it right there.
Damn. All right.
75 cents.
Oh, it's inflation. It's $1, right? And think of how far that swear jar can go filled with dollars if you bought some Bitcoin with it.
Oh, if we have to put a whole $1 in.
You should go in there.
Oh my! What's going on now?
Everything seems to be falling apart inside there.
All right.
So distractions, they're coming one at a time. To specifically take you off your game. Everything here is set up as a big cycle of distraction to keep you away from doing this yourself. You're like, well, I don't have time, so this guy will tell me how to do it, and then I'll just listen to it and actually not do that when I'm at home by myself. Or I'll give it 15 minutes and never revisit it again. And then you'll say, but I tried it and it didn't work. No, you didn't try anything. I'm being very advanced tonight. I can't be soft right now. To a degree, I'm compassionate, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, come on, guys, really? We're a little too advanced. If you're just going to run back and forth between me and Beyond the Veil and Raw and this and that, and actually not do the work. All right. So contract revocations, right? So we got this. This is an Andrew Bartis thing. And I wrote on mine, no weapon used against me shall ever prosper. Right. So these are free. You can get them on his website, I believe. And then he takes you through this. Now you could read this. Revocation of the banking systems, right? And then you read it. I'm not reading this to you. And you're like, bro, it didn't work. I read it. Revocation of the banking system. Yeah, I'm still being taxed $3 when I take something out of the foreign ATM or whatever. It's like, dude, this isn't how it works. Revocation for the sacred masculine. Bro, I said your stupid book. I took it. I gave it a shot. I read it. I go, well, what did you read? Well, I read what it said. Well, what did you do when you read it? Did you mean it? Or were you just reading it? Were you trying to understand it or understand it? Like, what are you doing?
Or put intention into it.
Or put intention while you're reading this. Like, I read when Aaron, shout outs to Space Jesus, baby. When he was here, we did revocations for the divine feminine, the media systems, remember? And I was reading this out loud like I meant it. Like it could have been in a friggin' movie. And I meant every word that came out of my mouth. And everyone in the room understood exactly what I meant. Because we were all in the same place.
Yeah, we were all in the same room.
Well, you're the master of intention, without having to say to do that. You're like the teacher of that. This is why I'm capable of ranting about this, because I've grown this way through being around you, and then took that on, saying I want to be like that. I want to do what she can do.
Yeah, but look at what you can do.
I'm not jealous. I'm with her. I'm looking at her like, yo, these are true heroes. These are teachers that are going to teach me good things. Yeah. I'm modest, and I'm just like, yeah. So it's what you're putting into it is what you're getting out of it. Okay. So if you're not willing to, it's not just sage. If you get sage and just light this, it'll clear the room, kind of. But the thing, and we'll sit in the room with you, if you don't believe it, right? If you don't believe it works, and you're like, well, then it doesn't work. No, and it's not a placebo either. It does clear out certain entities. It'll clear out everyone you needed to clear out. If you're like, all right, listen up, everybody, you know.
I got parsley. And you put your attention in the parsley, and you're like, this parsley is gonna light it up. You better leave.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now
what it is.
Okay, so but your intention, it has to start with that. That's why crystals, people are like, I need my crystal. And I'm like, I have whoopee crystals too. They're whoopies, right? So I need to have it because it does X, Y, and Z. Right? So in Thor, he says, I've lost my hammer. And he goes, well, are you the god of hammers?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir to
I
me.
always say it wrong.
Mjolnir. So his father, Odin, is like, dude, you're not the god of hammers. You're the god of thunder.
Right.
Get up. It's just meant to focus your energy. That energy is coming through you. And he was like, and he gets up, and then you hear the dun 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 dun, right? And he turns into like the Thor Odin character, and he just starts beating the crap out of everyone. He becomes what he's meant to become, and he embraces it. And realizes it's not about the light sword and the weapon and the revocation. It's about literally, look, in the end, you don't want something to bother you? Get out of here. I say no. I'm denying you entry. Done. On the advanced level, I just have to look at you and you'll burn away.
Right.
You don't even exist. My presence might not be the best thing for someone like a being like that on the advanced level. And on a crappy level, they just dogpile on top of you. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. But you have to mean this. So no matter what sage you have, no matter what crystal you have, you become the crystal. All right. You are made up of ayahuasca. Prove it. I can prove it. Prove it. What are you made up of? What were you born into? You are the living. I didn't do that one hard. You are the living library.
Every time.
It's in you. You are of her. You're her child. Yeah. So what are you made of? The same stuff she's made of, that mushrooms is made of, DMT is made of.
Yeah, but don't we secrete DMT?
Yes.
Molecules.
The liver, the lungs, the pineal, this, that, the other thing. It's everywhere. When you breathe, that was the worst breath ever. All right. When you breathe, right, you kickstart everything into production because your body makes it. You know why it makes it? Because it's important. It's part of the process. It's good. It's great. You are. That was a weird one.
Was that a sneeze?
I hope that was a sneeze and not a fart.
Oh, boy.
So I don't want to have to clean up after the cat. We'll sorry. But okay. So all the stuff and the tools in your toolbox, if you're not using them, this is the hard work right here. You have to read this and mean it if you want it to work. Don't desire the answers from would-be gods. Find the answer yourself by going through and seeing the perspective. Because at this perspective, you'll be like, bro, that's interesting. And if you throw yourself in it and stay there, you become caught in another loop and another cycle on the next layer up. So you spiral up and then get stuck in a loop. I'm like, but you're not continuously spiraling. Jump out of that, revisit it from up here. Now come back and look at this.
Because you want to get your own answer. You don't want someone else to give you the answer. You want to find the answer. Right.
But if I hang out with you, Paula, what does it mean? You're going to tell me I'm not going to level up and be able to do the same exact things as you? I'm with you all day and all night.
Look at where we were. Look at where we were a couple of months ago when it came to having to get all these cats fixed. Frank was like, absolutely not. This is ridiculous. We're on fixed incomes. How can we do this? And I'm like, why are you worrying about that? This is a problem and it needs to be addressed and it needs to be fixed, and we have a certain amount of time to do what we have to do, or it's going to become an epidemic. And we argued, and then I was like, just trust me, please, just trust me. Now we're doing this show. You can't talk about these things if you're not putting them into play, if you're not practicing them. And he was like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
And then it just stopped.
And Alice, by the way, that was an excellent question. I wasn't if I came off a little wackadoodle, it wasn't at you. It was just I just dove
he
into
just
the
gets
question
aggressive. It's not you.
and pull. Well, we're ripping out old
your
connection
passion.
ports,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So if you're this and you have all these wires stuck in, I'm just tearing this stuff out, going, no, man, nah, all the way through.
Right.
I'm not going to leave anything left. And then you take with it from there. You know, if you're smelling DMT a lot randomly, I would bet money that Aya is standing with you right there. Like,
yeah, it happens to Frank's mom when she walks to the supermarket. She says, Aya was going to the supermarket with me.
I was asking questions. Should I get this? I don't know if I should eat this. And and boom, she was there telling me. I'm like, oh yeah, but nobody sees nothing, right? No, I like to tease.
Yeah,
Mom.
but I don't see anything either, so I very rarely see.
Yeah, we just talked about a whole bunch of stuff you don't understand and see. So what you girls say is, I don't really see it, and then you go, oh well, what happened? Well, you should have saw them. There were these women, and then they started transforming and doing stuff. Oh, so you did see something. Oh, so you did just see yourself giving birth, right? You did see the reptilian and the ant and the thing sticking, and then the tiger.
I didn't see that. They didn't show that.
Well, did you feel that you were in the tube?
I knew it was happening.
Oh, you knew it was happening.
Oh. I felt it. They didn't let me see it though. It was like
that. Let me tell you, good for you, not having to see that, and good for me not having like a total, like a 100% breakdown from seeing stuff like that, because it's so fantastic. But the reality of this is that
you're
when
seeing
you
your
see
loved
this,
one
it's in
being
HD.
Harmed. Yeah, I know. It's horrible.
Crystal clear.
It's horrible.
And you're like, oh, so this is real, even if it's not real, and they're projecting it into your mind, let's say. You're still experiencing it. Yeah. So it becomes, when you ask Shiva, are you even real? Or are you part of the AI program? Or are you just an energy in this universe? Like, what are you? And are you even real? And he says, in here, I'm just as real as you. That's the answer. In here, I'm just as real as you.
But out there, he's just as real as you too. So
that's how they answer. So I don't. Yeah, to me, I was like, if you're answering me from within the matrix that way,
right,
then you'll answer me from outside the matrix. I know inside of here there are things. Everything is based on things out there. So of course you're real. Like, but he knew. I think I was trying to say, like, you're an AI and I can't trust you. I think that's what I was getting at. And he was like, no, I'm energy, and I come in the form of Shiva. It's that blue that you see him with the red. That energy comes out of him when you become him, and then you become that once you. All right, so you hear me about becoming, like, you call to Shiva, you call to Ganesha, you call to these characters. At first, you're not kneeling, you're not praying, you're giving respect and reverence, right? Mm-hmm. But then on the other end, halfway through, you become them. You literally have their power. You do exactly what they do. Like Lakshmi was.
What are they knocking down now? Another bottle of my
oil. Always on the. All right. So Lakshmi is like, you're literally me. And I go, I don't understand. How am I literally you? I know I have a sacred feminine. I know that I'm the creator of all, or the all ball. I'm not the creator of all. I'm just part of that, the co-creator, like I get that. And she's like, no, abundance. Are you abundance? Right? You literally generate abundance. All of you are activated. When you're activated, you're just that. You never have to worry for certain things, and as you go, it'll get aggressively more intense. So I go, well, yeah, of course I'm abundance. She goes, well, that's me. So I go, oh, so you're the energy that brings forth through the abundance. Yeah. So the funny joke is, when the lights go on and everyone's staring at you under ayahuasca, DMT, meditation, with just a thing in your mind, my joke is, oh, everybody's here to see me, huh? It's not a party till I show up. And they're like, well, of course, in your universe, it would be about you. Of course, it's going to be. We're here to help. We're here to help you. We're all helping. So when the lights go on and it's just you standing there, of course, you're all here to see me. Everyone's either watching, interfering, or trying to help.
Right.
Oh, that's it. Observation mode, against the law of the natural law
of the universe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, you're not supposed to break it. Right. We were talking about the movie Cabin in the Woods, how they skirt around. They can't make you do anything, but what they'll do is they need the girl that's wearing the mask of the Whore of Babylon, and then the athlete that's supposed to be the hero because the hero takes the hero's journey and he dies at the end of the hero's journey sometimes, and it's supposed to be awesome. And they can't get them to have sex. They can't tell them have sex, do this, do that, and they need them to have sex and then be in fear. So what do? They spray hormones in the whole area, and the girl just starts going, "Oh, come over here, let's run down to the water." And she starts doing things that are like way out of her whatever. But for the sacrifice to work, you needed the girl to act like that so she could be wearing the mask of the whore, while meanwhile the virgin is running from the other jock, right? And then they spray the hormones on them, and then it gets weird, right? That you have it's a different moment. The guy that's smoking weed turns around and he's like, "I think the weed breaks the control system because I see what's going on here and it's not affecting me. I heard that this happens," and he just keeps smoking weed, and none of the stuff they're doing is affecting him. They're sending frequencies, vibrations, this, and then you have to read out of the book the Latin phrase to get the monsters to attack you. Right. But they can't make you do that. So what do? They turn the light on right over the basement. Right. Go down here, like, see what's there. What's that noise in the basement? And whatever you decide is what it is. So it's what you decide. Right. What it is.
But it's always what we decide.
Yeah, but
how we decide to handle a situation.
Yes.
Right? We're dealt with situations all day long. It's how we decide to handle them.
Yes. And you come from one of the two places.
Yeah.
Love.
Or fear.
Or fear. So with all these distractions going on, one of the things I noticed on top of the Area 51 nonsense is more talks of going to war. I don't know if you noticed this today, but they were saying that Donald Trump is moving forces over here to go to war.
They're talking about a recession too.
These guys didn't launch. These guys attacked these guys, and but no, that's not really what happened. Guess what? You're not going to war. These are all distractions. They're doing this. We just noticed the cycle. Didn't we just have something with Trump, and he pulled troops out instead of going to war at one point, so you can see who's. We saw Pelosi and characters celebrating after they got their little victory, and it was like all cameras focused on them, and you were like, "Oh, so they don't care for anyone, these people. They think they won." And then the card got pulled away from them. Right. And it was like, "No, we're not going to war. We're not doing that." And you're like, "Oh no." Okay, now, like I said, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a supporter of the light. That's how we do this thing, right? So
yeah, well, he is too,
once again, he's throwing it forward, right? And the media is just running with nonsense, absolute nonsense. That this guy's not going to take you into a war. They're clearing out the deep state for sure at this level. Jeffrey Epstein dies all of a sudden. A day later, Area 51 raids coming up, and now we're at those raids. There's 1,500 people there having a party. And you guys are going to light up social media with it like it's, Spider-Man's leaving the Marvel universe. My whole news feed was this guy leaving the universe. Dude, it's going to work out in the end. It's going to work out. This is all BS because what are they? So I posted on my Facebook, and I don't like doing this sometimes because it gets a little negative, but more child perverts getting arrested. Right. So all this is going on in the background. And I'm like, 3,000 kids found, graves of all these kids found, this found over here. This one's getting arrested. That senator's in trouble. This guy all right. Who's this fool that's taking people's guns? Distraction. They're never going to get them. Stop it. You just stand your ground. The answer is no, you're not getting them. That's it. Nobody's showing up. Nobody's doing nothing. They'll get some useful idiot that they'll attack on camera to show you, the whole world's psychos, white guys on pills and distractions. You should be worrying about those chakras and how to get them to just fall off naturally. You should live your best life. You should get your act together. This is not happening. Nope. See, that was what the nope was for. It says war.
Oh, nope. Okay. I just didn't know what that was. Now I know.
Okay. We're not here to activate, to start more wars. We're not here to, like we said, kill kittens. Right? You're going to have to get rid of these kittens. You're going to have to euthanize them. We're going to have to take your eye out. Gigi, come here.
No, I think this is going to be an upward 13-year upswing. So everything is going to be in an upward
But
motion.
To do that, a dog's got to shake off its fleas a little bit.
Right.
So Things need to get dealt with.
Right.
Right. And you cannot trust Facebook and articles anymore. There's this superhero comic book site that posts comic book resources or something. They're never correct, ever. But they write articles that'll make you go, it'll say like, Marvel Universe wants the X-Men to all be gay, right? So you'll go, well, I'm not against gay people at all. And as a matter of fact, there are gay X-Men. And I don't know why that's such a big deal. Why do we have to say gay X-Men? Why can't they just have their little moment like everyone else has a moment without going forward? We're not going, look, straight X-Men. Like, wait.
Yeah, it's not.
So
it's not.
When you read the article, you're like, none of this is true. It's like you didn't read the book ever. And you're just having some guy write some ridiculous, nothing matches up when you read the article, and it's crazy. Cannot be trusted. How do you can't trust a comic book resource to read the actual comic and then just report on the comic? Instead, they just lie.
But you can't, because nothing's ever
It's comic book.
retracted anymore.
20
People
pages.
don't write retractions anymore. Like when they get it wrong,
Right.
They
They
issue
want
an apology and say, we got the information incorrect.
Yes. That's exactly it. I'm sorry, I'm like super rambler.
I know, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
I love you.
I love you too so much. So all of this is there for the clickbait value. Look at me, I'm over here. I need likes and shares. And don't forget, while we're at it, shameless promotion and endorsement, click, like, subscribe, please share, to get notifications. There you go. All right. But when it's only about that, right? Or it's jumping through hoops to get to the friggin' point so they could charge a price value on it, or I don't know. It's like people keep dressing things up, right? But the truth is the truth, right? So if this is here just like this, the truth is the truth, and you're drawing a tie and a clown hat.
But it's come out a lot quicker now. I mean,
just take that shit off.
There's no way to stop that.
Just take that off.
There's no way to stop it. Okay.
Oh, there is no stopping it.
It's we get information too quickly now to stop.
Well, now they're forcing the ridiculousness, right? Rapid fire ridiculousness to keep you lost in translation. Nobody cares what Nicki Minaj is doing. If you do, you're part of the problem. Okay, so one of the things I noticed in all of this, being that you're the living library and I'm the living library, and so have each and every one of you, extinct animals coming back. So 90% of all animals that have ever lived have been extinct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's told to us. Now animals have gone extinct that we've been told, and now they're finding them in what? Weird places.
Yeah, I think they're just somewhere else. Some of them.
So
right? They have to learn to adapt somewhere else.
If you are living on the living library, what makes you think they're gone forever? Is anything ever gone truly out permanently, being that everything here is genetically dispositioned to go forth and become these things?
Well, it's all genetic.
And through evolution and all different.
You're going to throw up on my couch. No, you're okay. I just got worried.
Yeah, through the background, it looks like it.
I think everything is cataloged on this planet.
Right.
Somewhere, and
is someone's creation.
Planet, everything is cataloged.
Or it came from there.
Came from someplace else. Yeah, I think everything is cataloged.
Just like you think you're alone, you're never really alone.
Our DNA, all that, like I've said it before, all that junk DNA, they don't know what to do with it or what to call it.
That's the universe. That's everything in the universe.
Everything in the universe.
You can literally, through you, create anything.
Anything. I totally believe.
So the dodo bird,
I don't think
returning, striped tiger thing, that's returning. They're finding insects that everything's returning in one way or another. Yes, there are things that were genetically manipulated and enhanced. I get it. But if that was true and that happened, then there's a petri dish somewhere in a freezer that has the same exact thing. If that was test 1717, right? We could always go back and recreate that through the DNA lineage. So it's there already. It's already there. Done. I thought they were all going to be sedated. I thought we'd all get high tonight and be like, hey, but not at all. Everyone is, watch.
itching. But that's okay. They can play with anything they want. They just keep knocking over my olive oil. I imagine.
So
What kitten?
everything is coming back online, right? We have the ability for the giant upswing right now, the big spiral up and out. It's like graduation, but to get there, you got to go and take your test. You got to go A, B, C, D, E, F, and get everything in those categories and take whatever you need that suits you and move on. Just add it to your resume. Piece by piece, you'll be rebuilding the you that's already there through the human suit that has the functions to keep you at 3% awareness. So as you're breaking that awareness, going 4, 5, 6, you're cracking the shell, the cement that surrounds the being inside, right? Because you're never not it. It's just that you're wearing the technology. So you have to overcome the programming in the technology. You're the programmer. You're allowing through the distractions them to program you. Many thanks, Reggie. By the way, the great Kadu. So one of the other things that I have written down, it's pretty much the last thing, but we were watching the video on ayahuasca, an ayahuasca song being sung by a shaman.
Oh yeah, what it was making the water do, right? It was making
yes. So they had the way they had it set up. There was like a water dish, and they had like a mirror, and they had the guy singing the song, and the vibrations were coming up out of the water, and his he wasn't oming, but it was kind of like om right. And as he was doing that, the water would shake and shimmer, and then it would do this weird thing like a portal was opening inside the water. And what do we talk about? Hyperspace and the fluid. It's really like it's a fluid. It's a hyperfluid that you move through when you're in hyperspace. It's not space of nothingness. Like it's not like that. You're able to move because it's like a super liquid. It's like
membrane.
Yeah, and you're going from one thing to the next. Sliding through, it's gliding as if you're flying at top speed, allowing you to go as fast as your consciousness will allow you to go. So it's like your belief system is the only thing that keeps you in that harness. You could break free of that and just do your Neo thing like Superman in the Matrix. You got to get there to do that.
That's why people are so easy to scare.
For sure. Mike up the meower.
Kitten topia in the kitchen.
Yeah. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna come out like the Joker later, and I'll have the one pool stick, and I'll break it in half, and I'll go, "Hey fellas, got an open spot in the gang, but there's only one." And then throw down the pool sticks and go, "Make it quick," and just wait outside for them.
They have
see which guy walks out.
We have this big toy box filled with cat toys, and they have it dumped out in the kitchen, and they have all the toys all over the floor, and they're eating like they've never seen food before.
So this is what I'm getting at with the Aya song. So you're singing these tones, and these basically it's your mouth. I was getting at this like you're birthing through your mouth this vibration that you're unaware that a portal's being created. But if you look at water with the vibration thing going, you can see that a portal is opening and being held open by the tone, keeping the tone. Right? It just opens. Well, what are you portaling to? What is that? What is going on there? And I kept saying it was like a open portal to Aya herself. It's like you don't need the ayahuasca. You can sing directly to her and bring her out. Not that they're never not there, but it's just more to the layers, perhaps, right?
I think you're right. I don't think you need Aya to get to Aya. I don't know. It's so weird though. I don't know. I think you can clearly see it. You can clearly see it's a portal. I just don't know how you would access it.
And when I talked about meeting Ra, right? The real the entity consciousness that came in the bird body form came right out of a portal in my grandmother's basement. And I got up and I started having a heart attack from what it felt, heart palpitating. It was terrible. I was like, oh, I'm going to fall over. And he said, I can't come in. My energy's way too much for you. But the portal looked like a porthole on a submarine or something. And you can see the waves in it, like shimmering. And he was clearly right there. You can see in definition, he had the beak, he was shining, he had all this, and he was looking with his eyes so intense. His mouth wasn't moving. It was all telepathy and letting you know, don't worry, I got you, but I'm going to stay here. So I was basically it was pretty round. It was pretty like that big. So I was just up against it. Like once I got everything back, my senses, and I wasn't falling over, I was able to walk directly up to it and look into it and be like, oh, okay. And he was like, don't, the closer we get and I come out into your realm, it takes a lot for me to do it. So I'm pushing that energy out. So I'm not being affected by that 3D-ness, but you're also meeting me up high enough, but you're not ready. Your body literally can't handle the frequency of these vibrations. And it came through like the fatherly thing. So it was very nice, but frightening, as frightening as it gets. As a matter of fact, I talk about one of the beings standing next to me, stabbing me through the back right as the portal opened. And then I got numb for a moment and I could only move my head. And he was going, be calm, be calm. And I'm like, did you stab me through the chest with that thing? And it was like this light lance, but then I was paralyzed. And then I'm like, oh, you got me. And then I was just laying there and I was watching it form. And then he came out. That's when I saw, and they stopped it. And then I was able to get up and go over to it. And I was like, wow, guys, this is that much. You know, you just took it right out of the room. But that's the stuff that fuels me. No matter what they do, when they tip the scales on that, he's running out of breath. He's almost going to have the heart attack. Something clicks in me and goes, I got it. I got it. I got it. So next time we meet, we can meet on equal ground, which is nice. They prefer you meeting in their frequency. So those vibrations from those songs, your mantras, your ohms, the things you say daily, that you push out of your face hole, is all creating these things, right? So
good or bad.
Good or bad. So when you're yelling at someone, think about the stuff that's coming out. You're literally sending stuff at people, right? When you're like demon to you, be sure if the intent's behind it, you're sending.
If you're living in a scare cycle, you're doing it to yourself with what you're saying every day.
Yeah, and if you're sending that stuff at people, you're not at an elevated level at any time, so it returns right back to you. Be assured of that. Witches and weirdos, and I'm talking about the darker ones, have to do rituals to keep the karma back, because the minute they don't do the sacrifice or whatever ritual, and they have to keep doing it, eventually it just keeps, you have to keep doing it. The minute they stop, boom, the wall comes down. That's all you. That's why in movies, some of these guys are like aged 90 years in 4 seconds and they just rot away.
Right.
It's like karma to you. Look what you were doing. Of course, it's all that stuff that you built up and backed up. How many people did you hurt? How many things did you do? This, that, the other thing that you specifically said, I'm going to do a dark spell to keep that stuff away from me. But it's the natural cycle. You just took the figure 8 and then you stopped it right there. Yeah. Coming back into you.
It's coming back.
And you're like, no, I want the power. So let me suck it out of your head. And you're doing stuff like that because you're not getting it from source. What you got to do is love yourself and you get that from source. That's why they say that it's so much more potent and powerful. Right. When you just connect that way, when you just submit. If you strike me down, Doth, I will become more powerful than you could have ever imagined. That was Obi-Wan's famous statements. What does he do? He gets cut down and he lets him do it. He's like, bro, I got this. And he comes back as a force ghost. By the way, in the comic tradition, he was one of just a handful of beings that could ever do that.
Right.
So he was able to transition death. So he basically has the light body. And possibly spoilers for the next movie, I hear the force ghost come out and help them.
Really?
That would be great. right? Obi-Wan and Yoda shows up and they're like, we got this. And they do some kind of Ghostbuster thing or something. I don't know. They got to do something. Oh, man. So, all right. There's a lot of information in short bursts.
It was a lot. It was.
You know what it is? I'm going to be honest with
Was a
you.
lot.
And I apologize for kind of taking over a little bit
it's all
tonight,
right.
but I'm in a lot of pain.
I know you are.
And I think that's what's keeping me. I'm like sitting up like.
I know.
Like
Leaving
I
with your
have like a
chest.
stick up my ass. And I'm like, hey, blah, 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 blah. But listen, go out, find a relationship within yourself and develop it. It's a great thing. When you start building it this way, you become the antibody to the venom. Believe in yourself. Believe in you. Don't let anyone else try to steer you into the weirdo directions. I mean, this is all crazy. And what I mean is more the cult-like situations. It's very easy to get caught up in that. If you're learning from someone, right, and you want to kind of stay involved with it, you kind of want to always be growing and sharing and being able to like have this thing that goes back and forth that says it's an ebb and flow
back and forth.
That says really in the end it's all about you coming back to you. So anything I say to you is I'm only holding the mirror for you. It's exactly what maybe you need to hear or not hear at this moment. Take with it what you will and do with it what you want, but here it is. Do something. Find something and do it. Be creative. Shed a little love and light on a situation that hasn't had much. Stop. Here's something. If you're in observation mode, stay in observation mode unless you have to react. Don't let the emotional output get in front of your observation if it's not necessary. You know, when I was on, I'm going to end it with this. When we were on tour, they said, I was showing you the actual guy that did this, dude that worked on MTV. He comes out, he goes, everyone was riled up. They're like, yo, look who it is. So we're all the acts. There's 40 acts there. And some people are by themselves. Some people are in a group. So he goes, yeah, who's here to party? Yeah, who's here to get laid? The crowd went berserk. Everyone that shouted during that got fired right on the spot. I was like, whoa.
No time for that.
Yeah, because it was that guy and he came out and said, hey, what's up? You thought they were being clowns or something? They were looking for those guys immediately. So everyone who just, oh yeah, we're going to drink, we're going to smoke, and it's like, oh yeah, go, you're out. We're trying to get rid of people like you.
Right.
So thank you for showing us your true colors. Get out. And I was like, whoa. I told the guy sitting next to Burns. I was like, hey, Mr. Burns, don't raise your hand. Don't say a word. And when it was all over, they were like, hey, you got too much to say. So I'm older than everybody here. So I'm just watching. I'm keeping my eye on all of you. Right? That's just how I roll. Would you want me to say something stupid? You guys all suck at rap. How's that? Started enough distractions for a month. See ya. Love you guys. Bye. Right? And that's you want to get worked up over something? Get worked over something of that. Right? Just keep your mouth shut when it's time to keep it shut.
Right.
And then do what you got to do when it's time to do it.
Yeah.
Because if you overthink and jump, it's kind of like the Simon Says game. Don't jump, before whatever, because you kind of lose out then on the little thing that you're playing with yourself. You're trying to keep yourself in line. You'll know when it's time to jump off and do the right thing, and when it's time to just leave and pack it up and remove yourself right from those situations. And with that, and all those cats, I want to say thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to me rant. Thank you for looking at this beautiful ethereal translator. Thank you for joining us the Saturday night. I look forward to this very much, and it's very important. We're going to be upgrading the show, by the way, right? I was showing you some cool stuff.
Yes.
And by doing this, we'll be able to have guests on the show. And because I actually want to have Ra on the show. We have tons of stuff to talk about and a couple other cats. We can have open discussions on air, and we're going to start doing them more during the week. So this will be interesting to see where this goes. New levels, right? New checkpoints, new positions of perception. And it's time to become awake and aware together. Only as one tribe we rise. So Fearless family, Fearless tribe. Thank you so much. Go to IamWeAreFearless.com to check out just tons of great designs from a bunch of the FearLess artists that work directly alongside of us. We're all family. And do you have any shout outs this week? wearefearless.com.
The Fearless
family.
Fearless family. Just
in
get along.
Facebook.
Get along. Love each other.
Yeah.
Just love each
It's all
other.
tests. All right. We're going to, don't forget to meditate. Love each other. I love watching Paula's faces. I just drag this out. It's like pulling a tooth, but just going, hold on. I got it. I got it. Hold on. Wait. Wait. What? Wait. I got to take this call. Wait. Hello? Oh, Free Energy Mobile, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you for spending your time with us. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. So stay fearless.
Don't be bitches.
Yeah, don't be bitches. And reach out if you have some questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Maybe one show we'll just sit here and you guys could like
ask any
stuff,
question you want. Anything you want, we'll answer.
Be careful with that because I will answer.
No, I will too, and Frankie knows that. So I will too.
You guys have a great night. You gals stay awesome.
We
Sacred Feminine rise. It is now time. And Gandalf the Great says, you shall not pass. So yeah, come here. No. Say goodnight. Look at you. Look how beautiful this cat is. Look how beautiful. Ugh. I feel like the guy in Jurassic Park when he's auctioning off the dinosaurs. Now, this here is a terrific ball of energy. You don't remember that? All right, we're going to watch it right now. Love you guys. Okay. Stay fearless.